Have you ever wondered why the woman with the quietest presence often has the strongest impact? Have you ever felt that real power isn't in the spotlight, but in the woman who doesn't need it? And have you ever asked yourself why some women move through life untouched by comparison, competition, or noise? Welcome to time-tested advice, where ancient philosophy meets the modern world. I'm your host, Alfred. Let's get started. What if I told you that the most powerful woman in any room is probably the one you're not paying attention to? Yeah, you heard that right. While everyone's watching the loud, confident woman commanding the spotlight, there's another type of woman quietly reshaping the world on her own terms. And she couldn't care less if you notice or not. She's not competing, she's not performing, and she's definitely not asking for your validation. Today we're pulling back the curtain on the Sigma female, and I'm about to show you why she's been the real alpha all along. Buckle up, because this is going to challenge everything you thought you knew about female power. The woman who broke the mold without asking permission. Let's start by blowing up a myth that's been circulating way too long. People love to put women in neat little boxes, alpha, beta, omega, like we're characters in some hierarchy game. But the Sigma female, she took one look at those boxes and said, "Nah, I'm good." She's operating on a completely different frequency that most people can't even tune into. Picture this. While everyone else is climbing the same ladder, fighting for the same spots, and playing by the same tired rules, she's building her own elevator in a completely different building. She's not antisocial. She's selectively social. She's not following trends. She's so far ahead that what she's doing today will be trending 3 years from now. And the wildest part, she's not trying to be different. This is just who she genuinely is. The Sigma female doesn't need a crowd to validate her existence. She's that rare breed of woman who's genuinely comfortable in her own skin, her own thoughts, and her own company, while other people are scrolling through social media at 2 a.m. seeking dopamine hits from strangers' approval. She's either working on her passion project, reading something that expands her mind, or simply enjoying her own space. She's discovered what most people never will, that the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. But here's where it gets really interesting. She's not doing any of this to prove a point or make a statement. She's not rebelling against society or trying to be edgy. She's simply living authentically, which happens to be so rare in today's world that it looks revolutionary. That's the stigma difference. Her power isn't performed, it's inherent. Why the world keeps getting her wrong. All right, real talk. Society has been fumbling the ball on female power dynamics for ages. We've been force-fed this idea that powerful women must be loud, visible, and constantly in charge of everything. That real leadership means having a title, a corner office, and everyone knowing your name. But that's just one flavor of power, and honestly, it's not even the most potent one. The Sigma female exposes this lie just by existing. She's proof that you can have massive influence without a massive following, that you can lead without needing anyone to follow. That respect isn't something you demand. It's something you earn through consistency, competence, and character. And boy, does that make people uncomfortable. See, humans love predictable patterns. We want to quickly assess where someone fits in the social order, so we know how to interact with them. But the Sigma female breaks the algorithm. She doesn't compete for status, so you can't place her in the usual hierarchy. She doesn't seek approval, so typical social rewards don't work on her. She doesn't follow the script, so people literally don't know what to do with her. This confusion leads to wild misinterpretations. People call her cold when she's just selective. They call her antisocial when she's actually protecting her energy. They call her intimidating when she's just confident. They call her weird when she's simply authentic. And you know what? She's probably heard all these labels and just shrugged them off because other people's misunderstanding of her isn't her problem to fix. Here's the kicker. This misunderstanding actually works in her favor. While people are busy misreading her, underestimating her, or trying to figure her out, she's 10 steps ahead, doing her thing, living her life. She's learned that being underestimated is sometimes the best competitive advantage you can have. Let them sleep on you while you build your empire. In peace. The Alpha versus Sigma showdown nobody talks about. Let's get into the meat of this, because the difference between Alpha and Sigma females isn't just interesting, it's game-changing. And I'm not here to pit women against each other. But understanding these distinctions reveals why the Sigma approach is actually more powerful in the long run. The Alpha female is like a championship boxer, powerful, visible, and dominating in the ring. Everyone sees her victories. Everyone knows her name, and she thrives on that recognition. She's built for traditional power structures where hierarchy matters, where climbing matters, where being seen matters. And look, there's real power in that approach. Alpha females have shattered glass ceilings, opened doors for other women, and changed the game in countless ways. But the Sigma female, she's more like a chess grandmaster who's playing three-dimensional chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Her moves don't always make sense to observers until 10 moves later, when you realize she's been setting up checkmate this entire time. She doesn't need the crowd's applause after each move because she's focused on the end game, not the performance. Here's a critical distinction. The Alpha female's power is often position-dependent. Take away her title, her platform, or her visible role, and her influence might diminish. But the Sigma female's power is identity-independent. Her influence comes from who she is, not what position she holds. You could strip away every external marker of success, and she'd still be the same formidable force because her power is internally generated. Think about it like this. The Alpha female is the sun, bright, hot, impossible to ignore, and everything revolves around her. The Sigma female is more like gravity, invisible, silent, but fundamentally shaping how everything moves. Both are powerful forces, but one operates on the surface while the other shapes reality at a deeper level. One says, "Look at what I've accomplished." The other says nothing, but her results speak volumes. And here's something that'll bake your noodle. The Sigma female could probably step into an Alpha role if she wanted to. She's got the confidence, the skills, and the presence. She just chooses not to because that game doesn't interest her. That's not where she finds fulfillment. She's opted out of the competition entirely, which paradoxically makes her more powerful than anyone still competing. The superpower nobody wants to admit they're jealous of. Let's talk about the Sigma female's secret weapon. And trust me, it's something most people desperately want, but few achieve absolute bone-deep independence. Not the "I don't need a man" Instagram caption kind. I'm talking about genuine radical self-reliance that touches every corner of her existence. The Sigma female has cracked a code that keeps most people trapped their entire lives. She's figured out how to be her own validation, her own entertainment, her own motivation, and her own best company. She doesn't need constant stimulation from others. She's not terrified of silence or solitude. In fact, she recharges in it while everyone else is drowning in group chats, endless plans, and social obligations. She's comfortable hitting the decline button and spending Saturday night exactly how she wants to. This independence shows up in wild ways. She makes major life decisions without needing to pull 15 friends first. She can eat at a restaurant alone without feeling awkward. She can travel solo without anxiety. She can go to events alone, or better yet, skip them entirely without FOMO. Her happiness isn't hostage to other people's availability or approval, which means she's free in a way most people never experience. But here's where the superpower really shines. Decision-making. Think about how many bad decisions people make because they're worried about what others will think. How many dreams die because someone's afraid of judgment? How many relationships last too long because someone's scared of being alone? The Sigma female doesn't have these constraints. She can make choices based purely on what's right for her because she's not operating from a place of fear or need. This independence also makes her incredibly resilient. When life knocks her down, and it will because life doesn't discriminate, she doesn't need a whole support system to help her stand back up. She's got herself, and that's enough. She can process, adapt, and move forward without requiring external support systems that might not be there when she needs them. She's her own safety net, and that's liberating in ways most people can't imagine. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, say hello, and consider subscribing to our channel. And if you'd like to support our channel further, become a member by clicking the join button below. Why she's allergic to games everyone else plays. Okay, this is where the Sigma female becomes absolutely unstoppable. Complete immunity to social games. And I'm not exaggerating when I say she's allergic. She physically can't engage with the manipulation, the drama, the positioning, the fake friendships, and the performative nonsense that dominates most social spaces. You know those office politics where people are constantly jockeying for position, spreading rumors, or schmoozing with the boss. She's not participating. You know that friend group where everyone's low-key, competing over who's most successful, who's dating who, and who's living their best life. She's either not in that group, or she's the one person who's genuinely just vibing without the competition. You know those social media games where people are carefully curating their image, calculating posts, and obsessing over engagement. She might not even be on those platforms, or if she is, she's posting her cat and genuine moments without a strategy meeting first. This isn't because she's above it all in some judgmental way. It's simply that these games bore her to death. They feel inauthentic, exhausting, and pointless. She'd rather invest that energy into literally anything else, learning a new skill, working on her goals, deepening real relationships, or honestly, just watching paint dry. At least that's honest about what it is. Here's what's brilliant about opting out. While everyone else is stuck in this exhausting cycle of social performance and politics, burning emotional energy on nonsense, she's conserving that energy and directing it toward meaningful pursuits. It's like everyone else is running on a hamster wheel while she's already left the cage and is exploring the world outside. Same effort, completely different results. And paradoxically, by not playing the game, she becomes more interesting to others. People are fascinated by those who don't seek their approval. Her indifference to social validation makes her magnetic. People want her attention precisely because she's not desperate for theirs. It's the ultimate reverse psychology, except she's not doing it strategically. It's just a natural consequence of her authenticity, the quiet storm that changes everything. Let's talk about something that gives the Sigma female an almost unfair advantage: her quiet confidence. And I need you to understand that this isn't regular confidence. This is the kind of bone-deep, unshakable self-assurance that you literally can't fake, no matter how hard you try. Regular confidence is like a muscle you flex. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it needs work, and it requires maintenance. The Sigma female's confidence is more like her skeleton. It's structural, it's fundamental. It's always there, supporting everything else. She doesn't wake up some days feeling confident and other days not. Her confidence isn't mood-dependent or situation-dependent. It just is. You can see this in how she moves through the world. She doesn't announce herself. She doesn't need entrance music. She just walks into a space and somehow, without any flash or fanfare, people notice. There's a presence that comes with genuine self-possession that no amount of performance can replicate. It's like the difference between someone wearing a crown because they're royal versus someone wearing a crown as a costume. One is inherent, one is performance. This quiet confidence manifests in fascinating ways. In meetings, she might not say much, but when she does speak, everyone listens because they know it's going to be worth hearing. In social situations, she's not trying to dominate conversations or be the funniest person in the room. But somehow, people are drawn to her energy. In crises, when everyone else is panicking, she's the calm in the center of the storm, processing and problem-solving while others are still reacting emotionally. The beautiful thing about this quiet confidence is that it's contagious in the best way. Being around someone who's genuinely secure makes other people feel safe being themselves too. There's no competition, no judgment, no need to prove anything. It creates space for authentic connection that's increasingly rare in our performative culture. The Sigma female's confidence doesn't diminish others. It somehow elevates everyone around her. The rule book she wrote when nobody was looking. This right here might be the most revolutionary thing about the Sigma female. She's not just breaking rules or bending them. She's written an entirely new rule book that only she follows. And here's the twist. She's not trying to get anyone else to follow it. It's personal, it's authentic, and it's hers alone. While society's out here with a checklist of what women should do, get married by this age, have kids by that age, climb this ladder, post this aesthetic, act this way. The Sigma female took that checklist, crumpled it up, and tossed it in the recycling. She's living by her own metrics of success, fulfillment, and happiness. And those metrics might look absolutely nothing like anyone else's. Maybe her version of success is having complete freedom and flexibility rather than a prestigious title. Maybe her idea of fulfillment is mastering obscure skills that won't make her famous or rich, but bring her genuine joy. Maybe her definition of a good life includes long periods of solitude. That would drive other people crazy. Whatever her personal standards are, they're genuinely hers, not borrowed from Instagram influencers, not copied from her parents, not adopted from society's playbook. This extends to every area of her life. Her boundaries aren't negotiable. They're simply the rules of engagement for being in her world. She doesn't explain them, defend them, or apologize for them. They just are. If someone can't respect them, they don't get access to her. It's that simple. No drama, no lengthy explanations, no guilt. She's clear about what she will and won't accept, and she enforces those boundaries quietly but firmly. Here's where this gets really powerful. By living according to her own standards, she gives unconscious permission for others to do the same. She's proof that you don't have to follow the prescribed path. That success can look a million different ways, that your life is yours to design. She's not preaching this message, she's embodying it, which is always more powerful than words, how she rewrites the relationship playbook. Let's dive into something everyone's curious about, how the Sigma female handles romantic relationships, because this is where she really flips the script, and it's not what most people expect. First off, let's clear something up. The Sigma female isn't some emotionally unavailable ice queen who doesn't need love. That's nonsense. She's fully capable of deep, passionate, committed relationships. The difference is she's coming from a place of want rather than need, and that changes everything about the relationship dynamic. She's not looking for someone to complete her because she's already whole. She's not searching for her other half because she's already fully herself. When she enters a relationship, she's not bringing half a person hoping someone else will fill in the gaps. She's bringing her entire, complete self, and she's looking for someone who's done the same work, who's also whole, so they can build something even better together. This means she has zero tolerance for game playing and dating. She's not into the wait 3 days to text back nonsense or playing hard to get or any of those manipulative strategies. If she likes you, she'll be straightforward about it. If she's not interested, she won't string you along. If something's bothering her, she'll communicate it directly rather than expecting you to read her mind. She brings the same authenticity to romantic relationships that she brings everywhere else. But here's where it gets interesting. Dating a Sigma female requires a secure partner. If you're threatened by her independence, confused by her need for a long time, or expecting her to revolve her life around you, it's not going to work. She needs someone who understands that her need for solitude isn't a rejection. It's just how she recharges. Someone who sees her independence as attractive rather than threatening. Someone who doesn't need constant attention and validation because they're secure in themselves too. When a Sigma female commits, though, that loyalty runs deep because she's so selective about who she lets into her inner world. If she's chosen you, you can bet that choice was deliberate and meaningful. She doesn't collect romantic partners or have a roster. When she's all in. But she'll also walk away without hesitation if the relationship becomes toxic or doesn't serve her growth. She loves deeply, but she loves herself more, and she'll never compromise her peace for any relationship. The career path nobody saw coming. Let's shift gears and talk about how the Sigma female approaches her professional life, because this is where she really shows her genius. In a world obsessed with networking, personal branding, and climbing the corporate ladder, she's playing an entirely different game and winning. The Sigma female tends to gravitate toward careers that offer autonomy, flexibility, and the ability to showcase actual skills rather than political maneuvering. She might be a freelancer, an entrepreneur, a remote worker, a researcher, an artist, or someone in a specialized field where expertise matters more than office presence. She's allergic to environments where success depends more on who you know than what you can do. But even when she's in traditional corporate settings, she stands out, though not always in obvious ways. She's not the one volunteering to lead every committee or making sure she's visible at every company happy hour. She's the one who consistently delivers exceptional work, meets deadlines, solves problems, and makes herself indispensable through competence rather than politics. She's playing the long game while others are scrambling for short-term visibility. Here's something fascinating. The Sigma female often succeeds in spite of not playing the game. While her colleagues are networking strategically, she's developing skills that make her valuable. While they're managing their image, she's managing actual results. While they're worried about who's watching, she's focused on what actually matters, and eventually skill wins, competence rises, Results speak louder than office politics ever could. She's also not afraid to bet on herself. If a job isn't serving her growth or aligning with her values, she's out. She'll quit without having another job lined up if she trusts that her skills will open new doors. She'll walk away from prestigious positions if they're killing her soul. She'll turn down promotions that would compromise her work-life balance. She's clear about what success looks like for her, and she won't accept cheap substitutes. The Sigma female also tends to create rather than wait for opportunities. She sees gaps in industries and fills them. She identifies problems and builds solutions. She doesn't wait for permission or approval. She just starts building. This entrepreneurial spirit means she's often ahead of trends, creating value where others only see obstacles. By the time everyone else catches on to what she's been doing, she's already established, already profited, already moved on to the next thing, the misunderstanding that fuels her power. Here's something delicious. Being misunderstood actually works in the Sigma female's favor more often than not. While most people desperately want to be understood and recognized, she's perfectly fine being a mystery. In fact, it's one of her greatest strategic advantages. People misunderstand her constantly. They see her independence and assume she's lonely. They see her selectiveness and think she's stuck up. They see her quiet confidence and mistake it for shyness or insecurity. They see her boundary setting and call her difficult. They see her contentment with solitude and think something's wrong with her. Every single one of these misinterpretations is wrong, but she's not losing sleep over correcting them. Why? Because being underestimated is a superpower. When people don't recognize your capabilities, they don't see you as a threat. They're not trying to compete with you or block your moves. They're not watching you with envy or plotting against you. You're operating under the radar, free to build, create, and achieve without interference. By the time they realize what you've accomplished, it's already done. The Sigma female also doesn't waste emotional energy managing other people's perceptions of her. Think about how much time and energy most people spend trying to control their image, correct misunderstandings, and make sure everyone sees them in a certain light. That's exhausting. The Sigma female has redirected all that energy toward productive pursuits. While others are defending their reputation, she's building her empire. There's also something freeing about not caring if you're misunderstood. It means you can be fully authentic without worrying about how it'll be received. You can make unconventional choices without explaining yourself. You can live your life exactly as you see fit without requiring anyone else's approval or understanding. Most people never experience this freedom because they're too invested in being seen correctly. The final truth nobody wants to admit. So here's where we land, and it might sting a little. The Sigma female is the real alpha, not because she's better than anyone else, but because she's figured out something most people never will. She's discovered that true power doesn't come from external sources. It comes from being so completely, authentically yourself that nothing can shake your foundation. She's the real alpha, because she's playing a completely different game. While everyone else is fighting over positions in a hierarchy she never entered, she's creating her own reality based on her own rules. While others are seeking validation from external sources, she's generated an internal validation system that's unshakable. While people are trying to prove their worth, she already knows hers. The Sigma female represents a fundamental evolution in how we understand power, success, and strength. She's proof that you don't need to be the loudest to be heard, the most visible to be valuable, or the most connected to be influential. She shows that sometimes the most powerful move is refusing to compete at all. That real confidence is quiet. That genuine strength doesn't need to be performed. She's redefined what it means to be a powerful woman in the modern world. She's not trying to fit into existing molds or smash through glass ceilings. She's building entirely new structures that don't have ceilings to begin with. She's not fighting to get a seat at the table. She's building her own table, and it's exactly the size and shape she wants it to be. Whether you identify as a Sigma female, aspire to develop these traits, or simply recognize and appreciate these women in your life, understanding this archetype matters. It expands our collective understanding of what powerful women can look like. It validates different approaches to success and fulfillment. It gives permission for women to trust themselves, walk their own paths, and define success on their own terms. The Sigma female is the real alpha because she's achieved what everyone's really seeking underneath all the competition and performance. True freedom, freedom to be herself without apology, freedom to live according to her values without compromise, freedom to pursue her own definition of success without seeking permission, and freedom from the exhausting game of seeking external validation that keeps so many people trapped. At the end of the day, she's not better than anyone else. She's just free in a way most people never experience, and that freedom, that authentic self-possession, that quiet confidence and that unwavering commitment to her own path, that's the most powerful thing a woman can have. The Sigma female didn't become the real alpha by beating anyone or climbing over others. She became it by being so completely herself that nothing could diminish her power, and honestly, there's no greater strength than that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm your host, Alfred, and I read every comment.